Okay. Good afternoon to all. Today I will discuss about solid state welding process under. Now I will discuss about the laser beam. The term laser, the full form of the term laser, that is the light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. That is the full form of the laser. That laser beam is a powerful, narrow, monochromatic and directional beam of electromagnetic radiation. That beam is a powerful, narrow, monochromatic and directional beam of the magnetic radiation. And these beams are within the visible spectrum of the light. That laser beam is the visible spectrum of the light. Okay. Another thing, a laser device excites the atoms in losing medium, means if we are taking, that is the ground state, that is the ground state. In that ground state, here first step we outside energy sources, means in that ground state we using outside energy source, we giving some energy in that particular ground state. When we providing the outside energy to that ground state will be excited. That will be converted into excited state. Okay, means that will be the metastable phase. That will be the metastable phase. After some times, means when we apply the outside energy source to the ground state, it will be converted into excited side. Means excited state, means that is the metastable phase. After certain time, what happens? Now that excited state will release the, means that excited state laser photon will be emerged out from that particular excited state. Means always one atom particles, it will try to come to ground state, means it will try to come to stable phase. So in that time, that excited state emerge out the power. Power means it will emerge out or it will be converted into ground state. In that time, means it will release some energy. Means release some energy means it will release some laser photon. It will just release some laser photon, and due to that release energy as like a laser photon. That is the second step. Means after certain time, when after release the energy, means after release of laser photon, that it will be come to again ground state. That is the main fundamental issue of the formation of the laser beam, means beam of laser photon. Elements of the laser. What are the elements? First, lasing medium. That will the transition and determines the wavelength. Means lasing medium that will help to determines the wavelength. It must be metastable state. Metastable state means when we apply some outside energy to the ground state, that will be converted into excited state, means that is metastable stage. Then palm means it will provide the energy necessary for population inversion, means it will help to continue the, that is the laser palm, that will help to, means it will always provide the energy for population inversion. Then laser resonator, means laser medium is located, that is the laser medium, that is the laser medium, that is the laser medium. That is the laser medium. That laser medium is located in the resonator. Means that is the resonator portion. That is the laser medium and that is the resonator. That is the resonator. That is the mirror 1 and that is the mirror 2. Means laser medium is located in the resonator that controls how the laser is generated in the laser medium. Means that laser resonator helps to how the laser beam will be generated, that helps for the generation of the laser. The resonator consists of two mirrors. One near about a rear 100% reflective mirror, another is a front partially reflective mirror. Means one mirror is a 100% reflective mirror, another is a partially reflective mirror. Two mirrors are present to the resonator portion. What are the types of laser beam? In case of gas laser excited, that is the gas laser setup. That is the gas laser setup. Mean in case of gas laser, that will excited the electron gases. Means all the liquid particle, solid particle, gas particle always made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of electron, proton, neutron, then other particles also there. So in that cases, gas laser excited the electrons in the gases such as helium, neon, cadmium, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Means when we excited the gas laser state, so it will convert it into metastable state. Then after conversion into metastable state, then after certain time it will come to the ground state, mean it will come to the stable state. So before coming to stable state, in that time some energy will be released. That energy is a laser photon. So that thing also happens in case of liquid lasers. Means here we are seeing that is the anode portion and that is the high reflector is there. Okay, that is the glass envelope. Means in that glass envelope we produce the laser beam. So here that is the helium neon gas reservoir. Okay, and that is the laser board tube. So in that portion is the cathode portion and that is the anode portion. So in that cases we are seeing that we apply that process, means we excited the gas state, then in that cases after certain time that will be converted into excited state, means metastable phase. Then it will come to stable phase of the gas, then in that time, before that time, the laser photon will be produced. Same cases we are seeing that in case of liquid laser include the dye laser uses the organic dye molecules. So liquid form to produce a wavelength of radiation that can be tuned. So in that cases same thing, that is the pump and that is the HR mirror and capillary tube, that is the capillary tube and that is the one flash lamp is there. Okay. So in that cases when we excited the liquid state, in that cases the liquid state after exciting it will convert into metastable state, means excited state. After certain time it will convert it into stable phase, and before coming to stable phase the excited state of the liquid it will release the laser photon. In case of solid laser we are seeing that the NdYAG solid state or the ruby laser which uses the precious stone to produce the beam of red light. Means all the process are maintaining the same process that will help to produce the laser beam. Laser beam welding, so in that cases we are seeing that to join the multiple pieces of metal through the use of laser. Using laser we use the multiple pieces of the materials and then this beam provides a concentrated heat source. Means when we providing the laser beam means that beam is the concentrated beam. That concentrated beam when we applying on the workpiece, in that particular weld faces that will be heated, and due to heating in that faces that portion will be melted. Okay, and due to melting the gap of the weld faces that will be filled using the molten metal. Then after it will be joined. Interaction of the laser beam with workpiece material, laser beam welding process. First, interaction of the laser beam with work material. Okay. Second, heat conduction and temperature range. Means what happens, that is the base plate setup with root support. Means we are seeing that is the base plate. Okay. Laser beam welding process. Laser means light amplification by stimulated emission of the radiation. Means we providing the power supply to the garnet. That garnet helps to generate the laser. That is the yttrium aluminum garnet doped with neodymium. NdYAG laser. That is the photon particles. Best suited for machining of the any type of brittle material. Working principle, that is the workpiece and that is the laser. That laser beam also sometimes working as a cutting operations also, cutting operation of the metal sheet. Construction, both the mirror will be present across the ruby crystal. That is the flash lamp. That is the capacitor. Now we providing the power supply to that particular setup of that laser beam welding. That laser beam will be created and that laser beam will be concentrated using the one optical focusing lens. Ruby crystals, due to providing the power supply, ruby crystal will be converted into metastable phase. When before coming to stable phase, in that time that type of laser photon will be created. That laser photon converted into laser beam. Before coming to stable phase, the energy will be released by that ruby crystal. That is focusing lens. Focusing lens helps to convert it into concentrated laser beam. That is the partially reflected mirror and that is the 100% reflected mirror. And that laser beam sometimes working as a cutting of that particular sheet metal. Also it will help to join both the metal pieces. It will be applied engraving, welding, surface treatment, cutting operation, welding operation, drilling, various types of applications we have used.